Good morning, YouTube. Today is December 18th. My name's Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Craft Vent, Yarn Vent, Advent Day. I don't even know what at this point. Hopefully today I'll get uploaded my week 2 Advent video. I got really behind a lot of days. So I've got a few days of Advent to open up today, but I thought first I would update you on some of my works in progress and a couple finished objects. Let's first have a little bit of coffee. How about it? This is my current favorite coffee mug. I found it at a secondhand store, and I have no idea why I love it, but it's kind of like a distressed orange. I don't even really like the color orange that much, but I love this mug. Sorry, that was a really big slurp. I'm 40 some years old and I'm still not perfect at drinking. So, like I said, I wanted to update you on some works in progress and some finished objects. We are in prime gift giving season, gift crafting season, if you will. And I think I had mentioned I was, on a previous video, I was going to do a washcloth that gets folded up into a teddy bear shape. I found it on a website, and the intent was my son has a gift exchange for his swim team, and he had drawn the name of a young lady on the team. I got her a little sugar scrub, thought this would be a cute thing to go with it, and then we found out they were going to redraw names. But I finished it anyways. The ears are a little wonky. I haven't quite gotten them the way I like them. But, I mean, you can kind of tell. My kids realized that it was a teddy bear. So, at least you can sort of tell it's a teddy bear. But yeah, so, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen to the little cute teddy bear. I will probably find a way to repurpose her. I'm calling her her because it looks like she's wearing a dress. But he... they redrew names. He got a boy. One of his closest friends. So, actually, I owe that kiddo... He requested I make him an F-bomb. I'll leave a link below to a couple different patterns. It's... Somehow they found it on TikTok or whatever, and he sent it to my son and said, hey, can your mom make one of these or make this? And I said, well, yeah, I can. I have 2 different versions that I have patterns for. One is through Stitch Niche, I think is the crochet version, and then Marley Bird has a knitted version. I think I'm going to do the crochet version just because I think it's going to work up a little bit quicker. I'm not sure Marley Bird's whether hers is stranded color work to make the F on it or duplicate stitch, but either way, I'm not real comfortable doing color work yet, so I don't want to mess up the tension on that, and duplicate stitch just seems like it's going to take a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and do the crochet version of that. I will update you when I get started on that. Have not done that yet. But other gift crafts, knits, whatever, my best friend asked me if I could make her an amigurumi. And the first picture that she sent me was of, I think it was a chupacabra or something like that. And I was like, well, considering I've never done amigurumi before, I think I need to find something a little simpler. And she mentioned a Loch Ness Monster. So I immediately got to work on Nessie. But fun fact, I hate to sew. Hand sewing, I mean, it's... Machine sewing is not my forte, even though my mom is an incredible seamstress. Hand sewing just... It just... No. So, I had Nessie all crocheted up. She was adorable, but she did not have her flippers attached. So finally this weekend, I dug in, I had to do it, and behold, Nessie with flippers. There she is. She's adorable. Look at that little face. Like the cutest little Loch Ness monster you've ever seen, right? So she's got 4 flippers. The front flippers are a little bit smaller than the back flippers. This was a learning process. Like I said, I had never done amigurumi before. So you can sort of see some of the decreased stitches on her tummy, um, because I didn't know there's an invisible decrease. And then once I found the invisible decrease, um, I used that instead. But I thought she came out pretty good. I believe this is Red Heart Super Saver in Tea Leaf is the color. And this was just one I had, the color I had hanging around. And I think she came out pretty cute. So that one's going to be heading off hopefully in the next day or so, maybe today. That's going to really depend on the weather, and some other things I get done. Another thing I wanted to do for the same girlfriend, she does not live right now. She doesn't live in the state that I live in. She's a few states away. She's a military wife, and they're currently stationed in the Northeast, in the, what is that region? New England. New England region. So hopefully she's going to be moving back here in a few months. Can't wait for that to happen. But there was another thing that I came across that I absolutely thought was adorable, and I wanted to make up for her. She loves flamingos. She loves Santa Claus. So what do you do when someone loves those two? You make them a Santa Claus flamingo. This is it's supposed to be a magnet, of course, cross stitch, and if I can get zoomed in close enough, it's beaded. That's the part I'm on now. I did not allow myself enough time. I didn't realize how long this was going to take. I should have known. And it's been quite a while since I did any kind of cross stitch. So I started on Saturday. It was either Friday night or Saturday, and got started on some of the darker coral pinks, and I think I got most of the pink done on Saturday. Sunday I finished up the greens, the black, the white, and the red. And then this morning I wanted to get into I did the back stitching. It's really hard to see in the black back stitching in the green area. There's a little bit of detail work there, and then I did the back stitch on the beak. Before I started on doing the beading, I have never done cross stitch beading before, so this was a little bit of an adventure, a little learning curve. But the thing that I didn't realize how long it was going to take. All of these beads that go on this these were 3 colors that were in one bag. There were 3 colors in another bag, and then 3 other colors, or 3 other bead types in a third bag. You have to then sort those bags out individually, which when these beads are this tiny. Can you see how little these things are? If it's going to focus. They are itty bitty bitty, tiny little beads. And these aren't even the smallest ones. Those are kind of the medium-sized ones. It takes a little while to get those things sorted out, and then I didn't know what... I had to figure out what colors were what based on the pattern, but got those sorted out last night, and then this morning started on the stitching, started on the bead stitching. So I did the bigger red beads this morning, and then there's little tiny ones up here. Got those finished. I am technically on vacation, although I think I'm probably going to check in and see if I can get something done that I should have gotten done last week, but I didn't get a chance to. I'm technically on vacation, so my goal was to do, a whole bunch of hardcore crafting and cleaning this week. Don't know how well that's going to go, considering we're now facing a possible winter storm. My kids have an early dismissal today because of the storm that may be hitting, or it may not. I think one of the reasons they might have canceled or dismissed early was so that they would cancel all evening athletic practices, just so kids aren't stuck out in it, because it's supposed to hit early afternoon is when it's supposed to hit. We're probably going to get hit a little bit harder because we are on top of a mountain ridge. The rest of the district is not up here, so we could get anywhere from like a half an inch to where my husband works. They're saying they could get 10 to 12 inches, which is kind of crazy. And I just broke off a fingernail. Um, but my kids will be home this evening, early this afternoon. They should be home around 1, which normally they wouldn't get home till about 5:30. So some of the stuff that I had intended to work on may not get done this afternoon. But I'm hoping to at least get a good part of this stitching done, some other things done, taken care of before the snow hits, in case the kids will also be home tomorrow. And that's going to kind of put a damper on the other work in progress that I have going, which are the mittens. I've got a decent start on them. I'm to the point where I'm getting ready to put the thumb gussets on waste yarn. So those will come off the needles, and then I'll start working on the body of it. I hope it goes a little bit faster. There's a, they call it a button stitch. So if you see these little kind of bobbly things here, there we go. The little bobble looking kind of deals, they're a really fiddly stitch that I don't know that I love, because it also seems like it enlarges the stitch next to it. On some of them, maybe I just don't have the tension tight enough. I don't know. I'm starting to pull it a little bit tighter as I'm finishing up the stitch, hoping that will help that stitch definition of the stitch next to they call it a button. But it's so far, it's not a bad pattern. There's something that's a little bit wonky, I think, on my stitch count versus how it's written, and it might just be because I'm not paying close enough attention to something. I don't know. But they're mittens. It's not going to be a big deal. I think I'll have it figured out once I get the thumb off and I'm working on the body. I'll figure out if I have, in fact, gone a little bit wonky or not. I think it'll be okay. It can be adjusted. It's not a big deal. The yarn I'm working with so far is great. It's Palette and Lofty, both by Knit Picks, and it is giving like a cool marled. The palette is much lighter. It's Hyacinth, and the Aloft is much darker. It's Eggplant. So it's giving a cool marled effect. But I'm enjoying working on those when I can. It's just I don't want to do it while my daughter's up and about. She is that kid that will notice. She knows if it's purple, it's probably for her. She won't say anything maybe, but she'll notice. So that's, I think, the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I found this because of the Crafty Toads. If you watch their channel, Toad Hollow, I think the name of the channel is actually Crafty Toads / Toad Hollow. Two sisters that are absolutely fantastic. I love watching their videos, and they're yarn dyers. They knit, they crochet, they cross stitch. They do all sorts of other crafts, English paper piecing. But one of the things they brought up was when they do cross stitch, if they have a pattern, rather than doing the old school, what I did originally of make a copy of the pattern and then highlight it, what you've accomplished so far. They had mentioned an app that they use called Pattern Keeper. And once I got working on this, and I was trying to, manage what I had already done, what was beadwork, what I didn't need to do until the very end. I thought about this app that they had mentioned. So download it to my tablet. It's a free app, or I think it's free for your first week. You get a trial. So I thought I'd give it a try. You take a picture of your pattern, upload it to the app, and then you lay the grid over top of it. You specify how big it is. You lay it over top of it, and if it's a good enough PDF that you upload to the app, it can scan it and tell you, how many blocks you have of each thing and where they are in the pattern. But if you just take a picture, the quality isn't necessarily as good, and it can't necessarily do that kind of scanning. So here's what I have so far. And you can kind of tell the picture quality, because it's blown up and everything, isn't the best. But what I really like is, if you see that red dot in the middle, it tells you right where your center is to help you mark that. Um, it'll give you a stitch count if it can scan the pattern, but it has been very helpful. So whenever I stitch something and I, get to the point where I need to, let's see a little bit of the light there, mark it off. You just highlight the ones that you've stitched, and then hit the highlight button, and it blocks them off. So it has been really great. I've really enjoyed using that. I will probably go ahead and pay for the app if I feel like I'm going to continue doing more cross stitch down the road. I haven't done cross stitch in years, and I recently, because I was inspired by the toads, I've purchased more cross stitch pieces, and I intend to do more, but I just don't know how much I'm actually going to do them. Like I said, I have them. It's just getting to them because, us crafters, we all have a million planned projects and works in progresses and works in progress. So, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with this, and doing the beading is definitely a little bit more of a challenge. But moving on, Advents. Let's get into that. So here's my Advent box so far of my yarn from Terry Savage and Jana at Purl Together. So I'm going to start with, today is the 18th. I'm going to do through the 19th simply because I'm going to have the other video uploaded, I think, today, and then I will upload this one tomorrow. So let's get into day 15. And we're starting off with, we've got Focus Instant Honey Ginger Tea. So this is an instant tea. Like, I can feel a little ASMR like granules kind of thing in there. That's pretty neat. I've never actually had instant tea. I didn't start drinking tea until a few years ago. Oh, this is neat. This is from 100 Ravens, and the colorway is Bearded Iris. So it's purples and greens. That is very cool. I like that. Nice. Okay, so that was day 15. Let's jump to day 16. There's the box. And we've got, another purple. My daughter is going to... This is a little darker than my daughter's favorite color, but she loves purple. So this one is another Cloudborne Fibers, 80% superwash merino, 20% polyamide, 25 grams, 115 yards. Just a really pretty purple. Love that. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull out all of the Cloudborne, and see if they go together and it would make a cool color work. I'm only starting to get into color work. Day 17. Knitting. Ooh. We've got some little Ghirardelli chocolate snowman. I haven't had breakfast yet. That might be my breakfast. And lovely maroonish tonal here. This is another X-Ray Ann. 100%, and I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that completely wrong, I feel bad. But it is 100% superwash merino, 55 yards, 18 grams. Give me a focus. There we go. And it's like a little bit speckled. This light's actually bringing out the speckles a little bit more. It's like a bluish purple speckle in a maroon yarn. I love that. And there's some of these have just been some really cool colorways. Day 18, so technically today. Oh, what is this? Okay, so we've got, untangle here a little bit. Another from 100 Ravens, and this is Oceanus? Oceanus? Kind of a teal blue tonal. Very, very pretty. It's reading a lot more blue on my camera but it's actually more of a green color. Not quite hunter green, but then also look at the little stitch marker. A little leaf. So actually it's 2 stitch markers because there's a bulb pin, and then this is the kind that it will just slide right over your needle. I like that. I like a nice simple stitch marker for the sheer fact that it's not gonna like catch on things or get tangled, hopefully. So I absolutely love those. And day 19. Last one of these for today. Ooh. Oh, and we got another chocolate. So I got a breakfast cheefer. And this is, it's not quite black. It's really a dark gray. So we've got another X-Ray Ann, 100% superwash merino, 55 yards, 18 grams. I know a lot of people don't like working with black yarn. I don't mind knitting with black yarn or extremely dark yarn because it's easier to kind of see than crochet. I do not like crocheting black yarn. So when I'm planning on doing that F-bomb, that may be a little bit more difficult as a crochet project. I might try to see if I can find a really dark gray as opposed to a black. Alright, Advent number 2, we're going to go to the Twice Sheared Sheep, day 15. Maybe I can get it open. There we go. So I'll give you the first one. Peek in what's in there. Can't tell what that is. Oh! From that angle I couldn't tell what it is. It's scissors. A really nice little set of scissors with a little tassel. And they are, I think there's butterflies on there. Oh, nope, there we go. And these feel really, really sharp. Got that really fine embroidery point. Embroidery scissor kind of point on them. With a nice blue sheath to cover that extra super pointy end. Very nice. I appreciate a good set of scissors. My mom, I think as I mentioned before, is a fantastic seamstress. And she was that mom that you did not use the fabric scissors on anything but fabric. You know, woe to the person who used it on something else. So, yeah, I'm kind of the same way with my good scissors. Scissors like that I will just use for embroidery floss and yarn and things like that, not anything other craft-wise. So we've got day number 16. It's one of these little ones. Let's see, we've got... Oh, awesome. These are left and right. Just gonna pull this out. Left and right markers, stitch markers, progress keepers. I don't know how to put it. Says stitch markers, but I would call them more progress keepers. Or when you're doing a left and right, either mitten or pair of socks. I've done the anatomical toe on socks before, and you have to designate whether it's a left foot or a right foot once you get to a certain point. So that's what those are for. Those are awesome. Love those. Let's go to day 17. And actually, I think I recently ordered more of those. So, yeah, whenever you do things like that, you need to have them on, especially if you're like me and you do more than one project at a time. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, we've got 2 more stitch markers. I think these are more progress keepers. They're a little bit too big for me to be stitch markers. But we've got a polar bear. Polar bear? I'm just taking out the cellophane. So a polar bear and a little white seal cup. Look at the little seal. Put a face in there if we can. Come on, camera. Because it's white on white, it is just hard to see. So there's a cute little seal. And a little polar bear. Keeping with the theme. So good. Look at the little paw. You see the little toe beans. Okay, so that's 17. 18. This one's nice and this one's light. slightly larger. What do we have? Oh, okay. I think I know what these are. Knit extension cords is what they're called. I've also heard these called barber cords. Trying to keep these out of the light. In the light blue color. So these are great if you're going to like slip a project off of like if you're doing a sweater and you need to try it on. So if you're slipping it off the needles, I believe that's what these are used for. I haven't actually used them myself. Slide open end of cord onto your needle tip and press firmly, gently slide stitches from the needle onto the cords. Use to hold stitches to try on a sweater in progress as stitch holder for sleeves to hold your stitches so you can use your needles on another project. Back in the bag. Alright, so that's day 18, and last one for today, day 19. This might be one of those bracelets. Oh, it's a scarf cuff. I've seen these before. You wrap them around. Actually, you probably could use this as a bracelet too. But you wrap it around your scarf or shawl or whatever, like that, and then you can snap it so that it holds your shawl, your scarf, whatever, in place. I believe actually Marley Bird was just talking about these the other day. And if you haven't been checking out the 24 days of quickies, amazing patterns, free. Some of them you have to sign up for like a newsletter or whatever, but Marley's doing a lot of her own patterns and it's really awesome. So that is day 19, a scarf cuff, shawl cuff, whatever you want to call it. That is, I think, all I have for today. This video is almost already half an hour long, so I think that is plenty long enough. I hope you're having a great day, and it is December here. It is cold. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying safe, and again, hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.